Now we're going to talk about writing your titles, subjects, and descriptions. We're going to talk about what to do once you've got your piece of content written, whether it's a social post, blog post, or video. We're going to cover the additional copy it's going to take to get what you created distributed in Pinterest and clicked on by your audience. First, pull out those keywords we brainstormed in the last module. The key here is to naturally infuse these words into our pin wherever text appears because it is all going to be searchable. And when our target market searches those words, we want our content to show up in the Smart Feed. So what is this other text I'm referring to? The first one is titles. Sometimes writing the title for your pin can be the hardest part to write. It's like, I've created this awesome piece of content, but how the heck do I get people to click through and read it? The crazy truth is that you should be spending almost just as much time crafting the actual title as you spend on the content itself, which is insane, right? But think about it. What good is the perfect piece of content if people scroll right on by and don't give it a second thought? A well-written title is going to be clever, use triggers, spark curiosity, and make us wonder what is waiting on the other side of the pin. I've included my guide to writing subject lines for email marketing in this module as well because the examples and teachings in this guide apply to writing your pin titles and post titles as well. Use this guide whenever you're writing a post title, pin title, or even an email subject line too. The important thing to know about titles is that we need to write them with the singular goal of getting someone to click through and engage with the pin. It needs to accurately describe the content they are going to find while also piquing interest and driving action. Now that you have your title written, next comes the description. This is an area less about enticing someone to click through and more about showcasing what they will find if they do. Here's a formula for descriptions. Grab those keywords again, but make sure to only use them naturally in a sentence. Do not keyword stuff. Similar to Google, Pinterest knows when you're doing this and is cracking down on it. A good formula to follow is to ask a question, include your business name, and choose 2 keywords to use in a sentence. 2 to 3 keyword-rich sentences is what we're going to aim for because that is what Pinterest Best Practices recommends. So I want for you to use some of your basic keywords along with your specific ones and be sure to link your source URL in the destination link field. Here's a formula you can follow. Title of your post, your business name, 2 to 3 keyword-rich sentences, and a call to action. For example, you could say, want to learn more about XYZ? In this post, I'll teach you point 1, point 2, and point 3. Click here to read more and find out more about keyword 1 and keyword 2. Here are some of my most popular pins and their descriptions. How much money we made while we took 2 weeks off. Passive income tips for entrepreneurs, Jenna Kutcher. Here's the thing, hustle is required a lot of times to start a business or to launch something into the world. I recognize that, but here's where I think we get it wrong. Our hustle becomes the norm. It becomes the go-to, the state of living. And so if that's you, I want to invite you in a little more rest, and hopefully this episode helps you brainstorm ways to make money while you step away. And then you paste the link into the description link field. Another example, 5 ways to streamline your Instagram process and spend more time off of the app. Jenna Kutcher. Is Instagram sucking up too much of your time and creativity? It might be time to rebalance your relationship with the app. In this post, we're talking about how to streamline your Instagram process with templates, latergramming, content batching, easy photo editing, and more. Click to read now. And then you paste the link in the destination link field. See how I'm using several of my keywords, but in sentence format, the title of the post and my name for brand recognition? Test out variations of this that work for you and see what works best with your audience. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. What's important is that you are naturally using keywords, describing what the pinner will learn, and seeing what they click through on the pin to give your pin the best chance at being distributed within the Pinterest platform. Let's talk about strategy for our pin descriptions when other people are pinning our content. An old recommendation was to include your Pinterest description in your alt text area of your image on your website. Now, alt text was essentially created for people who are visually impaired so that they could know what the image was. This is a place meant to describe your image and not a place for your Pinterest description. So I don't recommend this and think that we should keep the alt text for how it was originally intended to be used. But I do want to include an option for you to help other people write pin descriptions when they are pinning your content for you, because too often people are just going to pin the image and not put the type of content keyword description in it like we would want. We don't want this because that pin description will carry through if others repin it, and so we want to get this right from the beginning. To help with this, if you have a WordPress blog, there is a plugin called Tasty Pins that will allow you to write your descriptions for your blog post images so that when people pin directly from your site, your description will come through with it to Pinterest. It's a great option for those of you that have a lot of blog readers that are bringing your content into Pinterest, and you want to make sure that the description is up to your standards. Let's make sure it's also extremely easy for people to pin from your site. Don't just have a standard button buried somewhere in your footer or the bottom of your blog posts, but encourage others to do the work for you and to pin your content easily by offering the ability to hover over each image and then click to bring it into Pinterest. Pinterest has now made it really easy for others to pin to your site with the save buttons for websites. Once you install the save button, people will be able to hover over your image and pin it directly to their boards from your site. Having your audience do some of the pinning for you is a huge help in your overall pinning efforts. If you've claimed your website like we talked about in the last module, you will also benefit from additional analytics about what content from your site people are liking the most by tracking what posts people are saving directly from your site. Now it is time to pause and take action. Head to the Save button for websites page on Pinterest. This is also linked in the description of this module, and click the red Get the Save button and follow the instructions. This might also be a good time to check with your web developer if you need additional help. Next, we'll move on to the visual aspects of your pin and cover designing your beautiful pin graphics. I'll see you there.